on three. 1, 2, 3.
Win!
The alley-oop.
Hello, Saints fans. Welcome to the Coaches Show. This is your show, an in-depth analysis of St. Martin's baseball. Alongside head coach Joey Swanson and coach, a week against Western Oregon. Plenty of positives to take away. One of the key standouts was the pitching. What did you like about it?
Yeah, we gave Luke Fulkerson a chance to start, freshman out of Oregon, and it was good to see Western kind of did the same thing, had another freshman out of Oregon, and Luke really stepped up for us. I think he's got a really bright future, but really good to see him. Intensity on the mound was good. He 4-pitch mix, kept off balance, just a really good outing for him. And then we just ran into some bad luck in the last couple innings, but did really well. So definitely earned a spot to stay on there.
So with how we've mentioned throughout the course of the season, we're looking for someone that can be one of those main staples, and Fulkerson making an imprint. What else did you see in the pitching this weekend?
Yeah, we adjusted some roles with some of our older guys, Blaze and Nicky, and they gave us opportunities late in games, and unfortunately some guys kind of get pushed out when we're making those changes, but it was really good to see the bullpen do well. I thought that our bullpen did really well all weekend long, no matter who was out there. And it's when your pitchers are going good like that, there's always going to be a handful of guys that aren't going to get the opportunities, not because we don't trust in them or believe in them, but you're trying to ride the hot hand that you feel is good in that situation. So it is what it is. But I really feel that we've solidified, for the most part, 3 out of 4 starting pitchers, and we'll give it a go again this weekend.
Building a mix. Then on the other end of the equation, the offensive side running up against a tough test against Western Oregon. What did you take away from the offensive side this past weekend?
Yeah, we don't really have anybody super hot like it was, and we knew that was going to happen. I mean, that's just baseball, right? Like, pitching gets going well, and then bats kind of funnel off. So everybody's been consistent. We just don't really have anybody that's super hot right now. We had opportunities and just got killed with the double play ball. I think we had 3 or 4 in one game. Like that's tough. But just got to get back to taking good at bats. And Western's always been a perennial powerhouse staff. They've won the GNAC 15, 16 times, and they always seem to find a way to pitch well. So,
and you guys will get to see Western Oregon final double header of the season. For the regular season, there could be the potential that a playoff berth could be hanging in the balance that weekend. But also a look at the status of St. Martin's baseball looking forward, and this is a program very close to your heart that you've been surrounded by, and with a generous donation of $1.5 million. Where's the money going to go from this point?
Yeah, we're really excited about that. We have our first meeting this week. The plan is obviously full turf infield, and we have some ideas on how to help out our cages, just to try to get us a better environment for our players to train in and get games in, and no more tarp pulls. And I think that's the biggest thing for sure that the players and myself are excited about, that we're no longer having to dump off thousands of gallons of water off the tarp just to sponge and play a game. So, to be able to hopefully have that project started this summer, and, we're all looking forward to it.
So you mentioned how facilities can grow with this donation. What does that mean for the status of the players in the program, and how that can also not only build for the here and now, but also for the future?
Yeah, I think when our first initial meeting with Teresa, it was understanding that the donation and the ideas that we have could really take us from, pretty much bottom tier for facilities for baseball to now, being towards the top. So I assume that will help with recruiting. It'll definitely help with preparing our players better. We can plan on practicing all the time outside instead of guessing and having to play the rain games. So just being able to have a turf field for guys to take ground balls in anytime. Pitchers not have to worry about the mound. We hope to have some improvements with the batting cages and get us some more space there. So I think just from a player development standpoint, it's going to be awesome. So really looking forward to it.
Mention about the objective side of what's going to change with this donation, but also you being the assistant coach for 6 years. Now you get to see this as a head coach. What does this donation mean for the community itself, for St. Martin's baseball?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Kelly and I had always talked about it, and if you look at, I believe that UPS is possibly getting turf soon as well. So, I mean, you look at all the schools in the Northwest at the collegiate level, there aren't many that are grass and dirt. So to finally kind of be on a level playing field is really gonna help us out. And I think the alumni is excited. We always do an alumni game in the fall, so we're hoping that the project can be done and they can come back and see it and just bring some excitement. And it's made, I think, the tarp pulls and the field work a little more doable this year, knowing that, especially obviously for returners, that this will be the last time they'll have to do it. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it, just to be able to practice whenever we want and play and host. We've rarely hosted in February, so we have 2 teams that are going to come here in February, and we'll be able to be at home prior to GNAC play starting in March.
How incredible is that for the future of St. Martin's baseball? Well, looking ahead for this weekend against Central Washington, and in a series that we saw on the first weekend of March, where you guys defeated Central in game number 3 of a 4-game series. What is going to be the key for this weekend?
Yeah, I think our guys know in that series that we were 4 pitches away from winning the series outright. So I think that we're headed in the right direction based off this last weekend. We have to continue to pitch well. It's going to be windy there. The weather's going to be fine. But we just need to take care of the baseball. Hopefully our offense can get back to finding its stride. We lost 2 key hitters in Alohi Areki and Damon Ingram. Like, those guys hit in the top and the middle of our lineup, and they have for years. So, it's a challenge, but we have to do better as a coaching staff to help prepare them this week, and we're looking forward to it.
A lot of optimism going up against that east wind over in Ellensburg. That's all the time we have for the Coaches Show. We'll be back next week for more in-depth analysis of St. Martin's baseball right here on the Saints Digital Network. And as always, it's a great day to be a Saint.